Joining us, a great friend of Outsiders. He used to work for Boris Johnson during his mayoral years. He's been on Outsiders many times. I'm delighted to welcome back for this great victory celebration, James McGrath. Senator James McGrath, how are you, James?
I'm brilliant. It is a joyful day, isn't it? Absolutely joyful day.
Now, as we've discussed before, James, you worked with Boris. You know him very well. You predicted this would be the outcome. What was your reaction over the last 24 hours or so, and how's it been? Who have you spoken to, and how's it been?
Well, I've got a bit of a hangover still from celebrating a little bit too much. I'm going to be brutally honest. But what I think about Boris is you underestimate Boris at your peril. And we've discussed it on this program quite a few times. He's become Prime Minister, he's delivered Brexit, and now he's delivered, in his own words, a stonking electoral win. And now he's going to deliver for the UK. And the people over that I've been speaking to, messaging, they are stonked. They're stoked. They're so happy because what they've done is they've poked big holes in that Labor red wall, and they've taken seats like Tony Blair's old seat of Sedgefield. This is massive. This is a huge realignment of British politics. And Boris now has 5 years to get these quiet Britons, these blue-collar Britons, the John Howard-style battlers, to get them to stay with the Tories. Because the thing about the Tories also, it's a pretty pragmatic Conservative party. It'll make sure that it keeps those people there because it wants to make sure it wins the next election to stop whoever Jeremy Corbyn's successor is going to be from becoming Prime Minister. Maybe nobody.
Rita?
James, are we getting a little bit excited about this victory, given that in any sort of sane society, an inanimate carbon rod should be able to beat a socialist, terror sympathising, absolute fringe-dwelling character like Corbyn? So can Johnson actually now deliver? He's secured the victory, but can he deliver and hold on to those voters?
Yes, I think he can deliver. Already, the new MPs are going to be sworn in on Tuesday. I mean, they're pretty efficient over there, and they want to be our British cousins. They're going to be sworn in on Tuesday. I think a new Queen's speech on Thursday. He's going to hit the ground running. He's already done a visit up to the north of England, visiting those seats. He has to deliver. Not just the main thing you've got to deliver first of all is Brexit, obviously, by the end of January. But what we forget is this campaign wasn't just about Brexit. There was an undercurrent of what they're going to do about immigration, bringing an Australian-style system, what they're going to do with crime, what they're going to do with health services. Because, as you guys pointed out, Labor went woke and went broke because they were focusing on issues that Mr and Mrs Stringbag, who live in the terrace houses of North England, didn't care about. They care about normal stuff, and that's what Boris campaigned on, and that's what he's going to deliver on.
James.
What do you reckon it portends for Labor here, especially that we've seen, I think we've got some of them we can put on screen, pictures of Albo showing how much he loves hanging out with Jeremy Corbyn. Do you think Labor here has a problem with its association with Jeremy Corbyn, and do you think there's any lessons that they need to learn from this defeat?
Well, Labor, like Labor in the UK, it wasn't just the leader, it was the policies. It's a cop-out for Labor just to say, oh, Jeremy Corbyn was, as unpopular as a pork chop in a synagogue. This guy had a manifesto which was extremely left-wing, and so did Labor here in Australia. And it's okay for Albo to, find on Google Maps and find where Queensland is and find where some coal mines are and some people in high-vis and pretend he's a friend of the workers. Albo is actually extremely left-wing. The Labor Party is extremely still left-wing. I don't want them to take the lessons out of the UK. I don't want them to take the lessons out of May 18 because I want to make sure that Scott Morrison gets returned in 3 years' time. Oh. But for the sake of democracy, I think Labor should have a good hard look at themselves, give themselves another shower and realise they've got to start listening to the quiet Australians.
Rita.
Well, I would say that Corbyn at least is honest about what he believes in. We've got Albo at the moment saying he's pro-coal, whilst he's voting for climate emergencies and can't bring himself to support Adani. So where does he actually sit? Do we know where his position is on mining?
Well, we don't, and this is a serious point. When he came here to Queensland, he seriously was using Google Maps to find out where these mining towns are. He's hiding what he stands for. See, Bill Shorten didn't stand for anything. He was like an empty vacuum cleaner bag. He's waiting to be filled with dust. Whereas Albo actually is a genuine. Albo's a genuine left winger. This guy is a socialist, and he's hiding it now because he thinks, oh, I can become Prime Minister. And you're right about Corbyn. Corbyn, to give him one tick.
Honest.
He stood on what he believed for, which was absolute rampant socialism, complete madness. But he didn't lie. Give him a tick for that. Albo at the moment is sort of doing this jelly wobble dance while wearing a pair of flip-flops, bouncing around Queensland. It's actually a bit sad that he sort of let himself go like that.
Well, I think we will very quickly just remind ourselves of these 3 photos, because I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of them. The first, here we see Jeremy Corbyn and Albo with some secret handshake or other. Then we go to the next photo and it looks like they're swapping birthday cards or something, all very jolly and happy. Then look at the last one here, James. They're planning world domination, the socialist map on the background there behind them. I think what a joke. James McGrath, thanks so much for being with us again. Great day, great victory. You're looking pretty stonked yourself in more ways than one, so we'll let you go back to the celebrations. And thanks so much for being on Outsiders, James McGrath.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Fantastic.